Okay, so I'm going to be making a Valentine's Day card today, and I'm super excited because I'm kind of stepping out of my comfort zone. I feel like I've been doing a lot of vinyl and HTV lately, and it's really funny because I used to have, when like a decade ago, I had the first Cricut machine that only did paper, and I remember my parents got it for me for Christmas when I was really into scrapbooking, and I loved it. That's all I worked with was paper. And now I feel like all I work with is vinyl and HDV because I just love working with it. But we're going to go back to the basics today, and we are going to use the Cricut to actually work with paper. So I'm going to be making a really sweet little Valentine's Day card, and I found a really fun image, little SVG in Cricut Design Space that's going to be super cute. So I'm super excited to show you guys that. So we're going to actually be working with vinyl and adhesive vinyl and paper today. So the things you're going to need are, okay, a bunch of different things. I feel like it's really crowded here, but we're actually going to need quite a few things to make this little card come alive. So the first thing is you're going to need a card. These are little pre-made cards. You can get them anywhere. This is a blush colored one. You can get them in any color. All craft stores carry them. They usually come with envelopes as well, and they're just nice cardstock. It's already done for you, or you can just buy cardstock and create one yourself. So whatever works for you. You're going to need some kind of pattern paper, so just go ahead and personalize whatever you like and whatever your style is. I found this really pretty gingham. It came in a pattern. It's called the Baby Girl Collection Pack, and it's from Hobby Lobby. It looks like it was $9.99, and I definitely used a coupon in this. I know I didn't pay full price. So if you want to check out this pad, it's got some really cute little paper in it. I'm a girl mama, so this was definitely appropriate to be in my shopping cart. So grab that, but super cute print for even like spring or anything like that, or Easter coming up. But also, I am going to be using some vinyl. So this is the Oracle 631 vinyl. It is removable, but it doesn't matter. It's just a card, so that's totally fine. And it is the matte finish. I didn't want glossy for this particular project, but whatever you want to work with, matte or glossy, it's totally up to you. Just go ahead and personalize that as well. Okay, we have those things. As for tools, oh, one more thing. This little pack, these are just little foam adhesive dots. They're going to help. I'm going to be attaching some little three-dimensional things to my card. So these are really nice in instead of using tape. I think they're just easier to work with, and then they add some dimension. So you guys will see more of that once we start constructing the card. As for tools, you're going to need a scraper tool, a weeding tool, some scissors, possibly some tweezers, so I grabbed those. Transfer tape. Okay, we're going to need transfer tape for this. We're going to have a little element that is vinyl. And since we're going to be applying vinyl to paper, it's really important that you get a transfer tape that's more light grip. If you get a strong grip transfer tape that's really, really sticky, it can rip your paper and just make a mess of your project. So I'll link this one down below. This is the Expressions vinyl masking transfer tape. It's really, really awesome. I use it actually for everything, but it's especially good with paper too. Okay, so before we jump into Design Space, to kind of give you an idea of what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just measure my card. You guys know that's how I start all my projects. Let's just double check. This looks like it is 5 by, that's 5 by 7. Looks like a photo size. Yeah, it's a little shy of 5 by 7. Okay, so we have our measurements. Let's pop into Design Space. I'm going to show you the SVG that I'm going to be using, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the paper on top of the vinyl. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we are actually going to use an SVG file for this whole project. So if you are doing a last minute Valentine's Day card, this is going to be so easy because there's going to be practically zero design. So I'm going to go over here to the images. It's the 4th button down on the left, and I am going to, oh, it looks like I already typed it in. I would type in Hugs and Kisses up here in just the search bar, and then I'm scrolling down, and this is the file that I'm going to be using. So let me go ahead and insert the image here, and I am actually going to make real quick a shape box, and you guys know that I love to do this. I'm actually going to make this pink because this is going to represent my cardstock that I'm working with. I'm going to unlock so that I can make this any shape or size, and it doesn't have to be a perfect square. And I will go up here and I will make the width 5 by 7. Okay, so this is representing my card. Again, this is just going to be a little canvas cheater tool. I'm not going to end up doing anything on, I'll actually end up hiding it in the end. But it's going to help me size everything that I need here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to color this white just for visual purposes. I'm also going to be using that white Oracle 631 vinyl when I cut this out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send to front, and I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm just going to unlock and start sizing. And I'm going to do it a tad smaller because it was the card was a tad shy of 5x7, so I want to make sure that I make this on the smaller side too. That looks about right. Go ahead and lock that again. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, again, this pink background is going to be my pink cardstock card, and then this is going to be printed out of the white vinyl. I loved the idea of this being see-through. It'd be also really, really pretty if you put like a patterned paper back here too. That'd be really pretty. But I'm also going to be making little hearts that are going to be applied. They're going to be cut out of the gingham scrapbook paper, and then are going to be applied with those little foam adhesive dots so that they're going to pop out of the card. Again, you guys will see when I'm constructing the card a little bit easier, but that's why I went with a solid color cardstock and a solid color vinyls, because I'm going to have my pattern really be the on the little hearts. So let me go ahead now, and I'm going to go to the shapes box, and I'm going to grab hearts. And I am just going to size these little hearts, and again, unlock so I can kind of make them a little bit, I guess cattywampus, is that, that's kind of the word I want to use. So what I'm doing is just kind of making these fit over some of the hearts, and they're not going to cover every single one. They're just going to be over a few. I think I might do, let's print like 5 of them, and then we can decide from there. So what I'm going to do is I already have that locked, and I have it sized exactly how I want it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to duplicate, and duplicate 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it will cut out 5 hearts for me. Okay, I think that is it. Again, this is going to be super quick and easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut out the vinyl first. So let me go ahead and just hide these little hearts. Oop. Hide these little guys, and I will come back. Again, I'm going to hide the square because I don't need it to cut out a rectangle, or hide the rectangle because I don't need it to cut out a rectangle box. So first we're going to be cutting out our vinyl. So I'm going to go over here to make it. And let's see here, we are going to hit continue. And the first part is going to be out of vinyl. So once the little Bluetooth finds my Cricut machine, then we can make the vinyl selection, which is just right here. And then I'm going to use default pressure, and we'll be all set. So let's go ahead and start cutting. After this cuts, I'm just going to come back in here, and I will click the hearts back on, and then we will get those cutting as well. Okay, so we're just going to put the vinyl on the blue mat right up here. And again, you can use any type of vinyl you want. Since it's just a card, it doesn't need to be permanent. Removable is just fine, and that's what this is. I'm just going to scrape it down with my scraper tool, make sure it is really on the mat. And then the little flashing arrow right up here on the left is just indicating that it's time, whoa, time to load my mat. Let's reload that. It kind of went a little crooked in there. Okay, there we go. Okay. And we'll go ahead and cut. Okay, so that is done cutting. It does take a few minutes. There's a lot of little cuts in that small square surface, so just get a little coffee or something, but no, that's going to take, I don't know, that was probably about 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over and remove it from the mat. Make sure I'm being really gentle and putting all the bend in my mat instead of bend in my vinyl, just so that some of those pieces don't start coming up. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to grab my little paper trimmer and just trim off my, whoops, little excess pieces so I can save them. Okay. This is going to be super cute. I saw this design about a couple weeks ago and I instantly knew it had to be a card. This could be a lot of different things. You could probably put this on any material, but I thought this would be super, super cute, especially because pattern paper is, oh my gosh, there's so many different types of pattern paper. You could get lost in the scrapbook aisle, and I have for many years. Okay, so let's go ahead and start weeding this little guy. So you are going to go ahead and weed out the edges. And the fun thing about this design actually is that you could either, depending on what you want to do, I of course am going to weed out the middles because these are going to be like little windows. But if you wanted to weed out the back and just have the letters, the X's and the hearts remain, you could do that as well. So that's kind of fun. This is one SVG that could be used two different ways. So if you guys want to do it that way, that would be just as fun too. Oops. So even though there's a lot of little pieces in this file, these are coming up super easy. So this is going to be super fast to weed and then apply down. And how great is it that this is just a free file? I'm actually an Access member, so it is free for me. I'm not sure how much it is. If you are not an Access member, probably pretty cheap though. So I love the idea that it's all done for you because I don't know about you guys, but it takes me longer to design my craft in Design Space than it does for me to do my craft. I always am just kind of changing my mind or just playing around. It's a fun process, but it's something that I kind of have to build into my craft time. I usually end up spending just one day designing all the things I want to do and then a day crafting everything because yeah, my design day just doesn't get any time left for crafting because it just seems like I'll just like to play around a lot, I guess. And they always turn out in the end, so the time is very well spent. But see how fast this is to weed? And when you have to do multiple like this, you kind of go into like a rhythm, so it goes even faster. And then you just stack these little guys all up, and that looks so cute. Oh my gosh. What a fun file. That is so sweet. Okay, so a little bit more close up. That's how that turned out. And I love this Oracle vinyl. It's amazing to work with. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this down on our card. Again, this is the masking transfer tape from Expressions. It's amazing. And I will link it below for you guys because it's actually something I would recommend you have on your craft table because it works really, really well. And it's reusable. You can probably get at least, kind of depending on what you're sticking it down on, you could, peel this up and then reuse it on, at least one other project. So that's nice too. And you guys will know too if, it's not reusable and you need a new piece. So, okay, so I'm just using my scraper tool to really, really make sure this is down on the transfer tape. That way it peels up really nice. And then again, I flip it over and do the back. And before I do this, I am going to go ahead and just trim, being careful not to cut my actual design. I'm going to trim as close to the sides as I can, just because I feel like less transfer tape can be really helpful when going to apply your design to your surface. Okay, it helps you not, I don't know, it just kind of helps your eye when you have less material to work with. Okay, so that's coming up super nice. Being really careful though, because those X's don't want to rip. Okay. And this has a lot of straight lines around the edges, so I do want to make sure I get it as straight as possible. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Oh, I hope so. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to take my finger and rub that down. This card's actually for my hubby, so if it's not perfect, he isn't gonna mind, but it's one of those things where, like, I will know if it's not perfect. He won't, but I will. Plus, he's pretty perfect, so his card has to be pretty perfect, huh? Okay, so that's all scraped down, and now I'm just going to slowly remove that transfer tape up. And again, this works so good with paper. If you have too sticky of a transfer tape, this is going to be a stinker because it's going to just rip your paper. How cute. That is how the base of the card turned out. How sweet. Oh my goodness. You'd probably pay a lot of money at Target for this card. Okay, let's pop back into Design Space, and I'm going to print the little hearts, and we will get them printed on this really pretty gingham, and then we'll apply them with these little adhesive foam dots. Okay, so this has already been cut, so we'll go ahead and hide this and then unhide all the hearts and hit Make It and continue. And this time we are going to do a paper selection because we aren't going to be cutting on vinyl anymore. We're going to print on that really pretty gingham print that we have. Okay, so for this one, we're going to click Light Pattern Paper. I'm going to be using default pressure, and we're going to get cutting. Okay, so now we're going to load our mat with our paper. Just right up here. This takes me back. You guys, do you remember the original Cricut where the mat was like half this size? It was just itty bitty. And I was a teacher at the time, so I was cutting out teachery things for sure. Yeah. And a lot of scrapbook type things. To be honest, I don't feel like I used my original Cricut quite as much as I thought I would, but now the Cricut is amazing. I'm having an issue with getting my mat straight today. There we go. Let's try it again. There. Okay. That's funny. I never really have trouble with that, but today I've been fumbling with it quite a bit. Okay, so we are going to cut. There we go. Okay, so this will be really, really fast because it's just 5 little hearts. It'll be super cute. Again, we're going to be using these little adhesive foam dots. Feel free to use tape if you want, but it is, you know, they are really tiny hearts. So I find that these are better. Plus, they help raise the heart up off of the surface, and it gives it more of a dimensional effect. And I like this little, this is the Paper Studio, or no, the Papery Shop. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They're $3.99. They're in the paper craft section, but I like them because they have assorted sizes. So they have some small ones, 3 different sizes on here, but that's super helpful. Okay, so that's already done. And just like I would with regular vinyl, I'm going to I'm going to flip my mat over and peel, being careful not to but kind of get my paper all rolled up. So I'm just going to try to be as careful as I can so I can reuse this paper. Okay, so how cute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to very lightly use my weeding tool just to kind of lift the edges, and these come up super easy. Grab them off the mat. Okay, I think 5 is going to be just about perfect. What do you guys think? And this pattern is a perfect size for these hearts because you can still kind of tell that it's gingham. Some of my other patterns are super cute, but the pattern on the paper is so big that once you cut little designs out of it, it kind of loses the integrity of the design, and there's really no point. So, okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to do, this is where the tweezers are going to come in major handy. I think I'm going to, with my eye, this is just how I kind of work, so feel free to skip this step if you are quicker than I am at this, but I think I'm just going to kind of place these down first to see where I want them, and then we will add the little adhesive backs to them. Blow this guy up a little bit. This is kind of what I was talking about, like in Design Space, where it takes me quite a bit of time just to do the design. But it does always turn out so cute. I think that's... I am so, like, I'm a little bit too much of a perfectionist that stuff like this where you have to have a random pattern really kind of jostles me a little bit. A few years ago when my husband and I first moved into this house, we redid our dining room and we have this beautiful chandelier, but you had to place the lights kind of haphazardly to make it look good. It was purposeful, but we are both pretty, I guess, more perfectionists in that type, so it was hilarious trying to get us both to try to make something haphazard look intentional. But it worked out in the end. It was super cute. This is kind of going crazy now. My mom always taught me, though, that you do things in odd numbers when you're styling. So that's why I did the 5. I think that looks pretty good. Let me just try one more thing. No, let's just go with it. Looks cute. Okay, so I'm going to use the smallest little guy here, and just, they have little peel tabs, I suppose. I don't know if that's a word, but we're going to go with it. Little peel tabs on the back, and you're just going to place it, and then you can stick the heart. Cute. Oh my gosh, that's really cute. It actually looks even better than just laying them down. So I would definitely, okay, I'm going to change my mind. Don't even do tape, you guys. Go for these little foam, little adhesive foam block things, because this little raised effect is adorable. I'll lift this up when I'm done so you guys can get a better view of it, but it is cute. Okay, so I vote for tweezers as well. They are definitely coming in handy for sure. So grab your tweezers and your foam adhesive things because they are going to be very helpful. Okay. Kind of feels good to get back into a little bit of paper crafting. I haven't done paper crafting, you guys, in so long. I would say like 2012 was the last time. Okay, and then one last one. How cute. Okay, I like the haphazardness. It worked out. That moment of 2 of indecision was worth it because I like the placement. And you guys place it however you want. Cut more hearts, cut less hearts. However you guys want is perfectly fine. That's why you can just take away some content from this, but make this card however you would like. Okay, so I'm going to try to show you. See the little stickies on the side, but they're raised up. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's super cute. He's going to love this. So I'll have to, and then you can just open it up, obviously, write in it. Most of these card packs, I can't remember if this one did. I'm pretty sure it did. Most of these card packs come with corresponding envelopes too, or if not, then do you guys keep your envelopes from Christmas card time? Sometimes if I have extra envelopes or cards left over, I make sure to keep those envelopes because they come in handy for stuff like this. So, all right, there you have it. It's fun to do a little bit more papery crafting on the channel, so that was fun. Okay, so if you enjoyed this or if you are last minute crafting like I am for Valentine's Day, make sure you give this a thumbs up. I would really love it if you would, and make sure that you subscribe because I have a lot of fun things coming up and I really don't want you guys to miss them. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, and there's also a little bell button you can hit so it gives you a cute little chime every time I post something. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out.